Welcome to Scorched Earth and a new series of weekly overviews for each of the signs. It's going to be all signs, but it will be time stamped. So if you're looking for your sign, have a look down below and I'll have time stamped it all so you can just jump straight to your sign. The way this is going to be structured is we will pull a card for the theme for the week, and this is for the 19th to the 25th of April. We'll pull a card for the theme of the week. Then we'll look at love and relationships, romantic or otherwise. We'll look at your material environment, and then we'll have a kind of do this, don't do that section, right? So, you know, a point of focus for the week, you know, things that you should be really putting your energy into, and things to try and swerve away from if you possibly can. So, hope that all makes sense. We will start with Aries. So, can I have a card for Aries, please? What is Aries' theme for this week? We have the 10 of Wands in reverse. Now, this is quite interesting. This way round, it talks about burden. It talks about things being too hard. For you, it's going to be all about the avoidance of things that make your life difficult this week, right? In whatever way that applies. Perhaps for some of you, it might involve taking a look at your work schedule, perhaps, and seeing where it is that you could maybe delegate or make things a little bit easier for yourself, maybe with a bit more prep, something like that. In other respects, it could be, you know, where are you putting too much effort, right? When I see this card this way up, it often tells me that what we've got going on here is somebody who's kind of picking the hard way to do things. Well, for this week, Aries, I would like you to try and focus on making your life a little bit easier, because you've been quite stressed of late, actually, is how I feel about that. Like, there've been a lot of things and they've all been kind of piling up on you, and it might have been one big thing, or it might be a cumulative effect of lots of little things. And I think, as I've said that, I feel like it's more towards the latter for you. Things have built up now and it's kind of getting to an intolerable point. So for you, looking for ways to shift that around would be really, really helpful. Now, let's have a look at love and relationships. Something for love and relationships, please. Yeah, we've got the Magician in reverse again here. So, this fits really nicely with the 10 of Wands here, because the Magician in reverse is, it's not a fun energy. Like, it often talks about a feeling of disempowerment, right? Where the Magician is all about setting your will and your intent, you know, and kind of manifesting things. This feels like an inability to be able to do that. So relationships are a little bit tricky this week. I would watch out for a potential manipulation, because I think there's possibility of that at play with some people. We've got Temperance, yeah, like really be making more time for yourself this week. If you are surrounded by people who are making you feel some kind of way, it is all right to withdraw from them, and I really do advise that you do that, because your peace is more important at this time. Right? It seems like the whole timbre of this reading is going to be around your personal peace. One more for the Magician in reverse, please. Yeah. We've got two. I only wanted one, but we've got two came out together. We've got the 9 of Swords and we've got the World. Anything that's making you feel like, oh, the Hermit jumped out as well. Anything that's making you feel anxious or leading you to overthink a situation, like, step back from it, right? It's okay to go into hermit mode, and it's okay actually to draw a line under it altogether if you feel so inclined. I'm not sure that you'll all want to do that exactly, but just watch your step around people this week, Aries, I think. Because the manipulative side of this is coming through quite strong, and I do think that there are people around you who are really making your life quite difficult at the moment. Step back, value your peace more than the fight at this point, you know. Right, let's have a look at your material environment. How is money and work? It's looking pretty good. We've got the Page of Pentacles. No, we've got the King of Pentacles here. with the Ten of Pentacles at the bottom of the deck, which is really, really good. The King of Pentacles is really, you know, it's part of the pinnacle of the Pentacles suit. This is really good management of your money. It's also delayed gratification, right? And so it seems like there's a possibility of a seed that you planted a long time ago really coming to the fore now, like really actually blooming in some way or another, because we do have the Ten of Pentacles at the bottom of the deck. It suggests that something that you set in motion a while ago will see its fruition, or at least start to show its face at some point in this week from the 19th to the 25th. Something's worth keeping an eye on. That's King of Pentacles. Yeah, King of Swords. Really good judgment shown by you at some point in the past that is now going to start reaping its proper rewards and its proper dividends. You know, a situation where you were actually quite smart about something. Certainly it doesn't seem like you have anything to worry about in that regard. And you know, in terms of work, you know, keeping things very business-like is absolutely the way forward, particularly if some of the manipulative people that you find yourself around at the moment are in your work environment, you know. Keep everything cold, keep everything professional, civil, all that sort of thing. Don't engage with things any further than that, because you've got good things coming to you, right? And you know, it's perhaps that these people sense it and they don't want that for you. So step back, detach, pull away. I mean, this message is coming through in every aspect of your reading so far here. Interesting. Particularly since we're in Aries season, and that has you very fired up and driven to succeed. Maybe the drive is a little too hard at the moment, right? Maybe take the foot off the gas just a little bit. Maybe redivert energy into those things that will bear fruit, such as your, you know, money and materials and stuff at this point, rather than relationships which feel like you're kind of bringing your head up against a brick wall. You know, just butting a situation over and over again. It's just going to give you a headache, Aries. Don't go down there. So let's have a look. What should Aries focus on this week? Whoa, we've got two. We've got the Ace of Pentacles and the Hermit. I mean, really, mic drop. I mean, pulling back from some things, right, in order to concentrate on this, right? Money and wealth and materials and stuff like that. Point of your focus this week. Whether it is the creation of new opportunities for yourself or capitalizing on opportunities that already exist, that are there, you know, really perceiving them and seeing what they are. But certainly picking up your ball and going home, actually, is what I'm feeling with a lot of this, right? Concentrate on things of a material nature this week, because that's where the energy lies for you in the best way. What should Aries avoid? Nine of Swords. Don't overthink anything at this point. Like I said, if you find yourself in a situation where you're feeling yourself overthinking about something, and it's probably going to be around people at this point, just pull back from it, just detach, right? You don't need to engage. And absolutely the best use of the energy for you this week is not engaging with it. Because I think that, well, this is going to blow out, whatever it is, it's going to blow out and leave you alone, and you have the possibility of kind of exacerbating it, or, you know, inflating it, elevating it beyond where it needs to be if you continue to engage with it on that level. Pull your energy back, put it into this, because money, material stuff, promotion, work, all that sort of thing looks really, really good for you this week. So moving on, let's go to Taurus, my lovely bulls. Just put all of these back in the right way. Let's give these a good shuffle. Could I have a theme for the week for Taurus, please? Ooh, there we are. Ooh, we have the Five of Pentacles. That's interesting. It's a card that talks about lack in all its senses. It talks about poverty or a fear of poverty. And don't forget that can be in in any one of a number of different ways, because I see the pentacles as energetic currency, right? So anything that you can invest is something that could be a pentacle: time, care, energy, effort, all of those sorts of things, right? So it's also a card of not meeting your own basic needs. Now, the fact that this is a theme for the week could suggest that you are up in your head about something and you kind of forget about the stuff that's in front of you. And that's possible. I think in the mid-month reading, there was an element of looking back, being in quite a reflective frame of mind. And it could well be that this Five of Pentacles really does speak to a contemplation of a time when you did this, rather than actually sitting in this energy yourself right now. Let's just pull another card and have a look at that. Hanged Man. Yeah, well, that's perfect. Eight of Pentacles at the bottom of the deck. What we have here is you changing your perspective on something, right? So in order to change your perspective, you have to actually be actively engaging with it, right? You need to be thinking about it, not actively engaging with it per se, but like mentally engaging with it, emotionally engaging with it. I think that you're changing this week. There's a change in the narrative that you've told yourself about how things have gone down before. It could be that there's an increase in responsibility of the right sort for past situations, but certainly a resolve never to be back in a past situation. Right? This is very prominent for this week, the 19th to the 25th. Let's have a look at love and relationships. What can you tell you about love and relationships with Taurus, please? We've got the Moon in reverse. That's a really interesting card. And we have the Two of Cups at the bottom of the deck. There is the card of relationships, right? Whether they are romantic relationships or, you know, just any kind of interpersonal relationship that you have, friends, co-workers, that sort of thing. With the Moon coming up in reverse, it feels like something that was perhaps confusing, or at least in the dark, is really coming to light for you this week. Now, this could be, you know, a secret coming to light, or this could be some sort of revelation that you have about yourself and the way that you show up in love and in relationships. Tell me about the Moon, please. We've got the Ten of Pentacles. Huh, that's interesting. And the Ten of Cups and the Six of Wands. This is amazing. Whoa. So we have the Nine of Pentacles at the bottom of the deck. Here we have the Ten of Pentacles, Ten of Cups and the Six of Wands, all coming out to clarify the Moon. I think where love and relationships are concerned this week, you can expect to have some real breakthroughs, right? And this absolutely fits with the energy that you find yourself in at the moment, because it is very contemplative, it is reflective. You are looking at not only how things have been, but what it is that you've learned from that and how you can take that forwards into the future to create the kind of life for yourself that you want, you know. The Moon in the upright talks about those things that are hidden. When it comes up in the reverse, it's talking about these things coming to light. This feels like perhaps quite deep insights into the way that you feel, certainly, but the way that you manage your resources, right, your energetic resources, how you have over-invested in people in the past and how that will now stop, you know. But to come through this so cleanly, you know, a lot of people who had the experiences that you've had, Taurus, could have come out quite jaded. And in fact, that hasn't happened for you at all. There's a real sense of empowerment with what it is that you've learned about yourself. And more than that, it's feeding into what it is that you want to create for yourself in the future. This looks really, really good, to be honest. If it isn't insights that you have about yourself, and I really do feel like it probably is, then for a few more of you, what it will be is something coming to light from the family, perhaps. But it's really positive. It has really, really positive consequences for you because we've got this Six of Wands just sat here now, it's like just drawn to the colours. You know, where these things were hidden, now they are visible, now they can be seen, now they can be worked with, you know, now they can be capitalized upon, now they can be built on in a way that you like to do, Taurus. This looks really good. I really like that for you. So let's have a look at your material environment. Tell me about money and work for Taurus. We have the Seven of Swords. Interesting, with the Emperor at the bottom of the deck. So you could be having some issues with a boss this week. If you, you know, if you're working for someone, the boss is quite stern. And there could be some deception in the workplace, right? There could be people who are, you know, well, you understand what this is like. You know, Taurus struggle with people who are jealous of their work ethic. And the people who are jealous of your work ethic are the ones that don't have a work ethic. And they try all the short, you know, cuts to get the same results that you do, but without it, because they never apply themselves in the same way that you do. But I'll pull one more card for this. Yeah. I was going to say there's a Seven of Swords at the bottom of the deck, that it could be a risk this week. It is a good week to take a risk with something in a work situation, but actually the card that's come out to clarify is the Star in reverse. And so I'm going to stick with the former interpretation, because what I see here is jealousy of the way in which you show up, you know, in a work sense. If you work for yourself, then it's possible that you've got issues with people not showing up, right? Not appearing for appointments and stuff like that. Difficult. But for the most part, for most of you who are employed, there's a potential for some kind of toxic energy around work this week. And the thing is, don't think that it's not seen, because it is. So the best thing for you is to show up in the way that you always do, right? Don't try and counteract any of this energy by, you know, submitting to an urge to get back at people in some sort of way. You just keep your head down and keep doing what you've always done, because the boss sees everything, right? We've got this Emperor here kind of overseeing it. There are people who do not like the way that you succeed at things, and they're looking for ways to bring you down, but it is being overseen by the boss. He sees everything. Don't fall into the trap of responding to it, right? Because it's not necessary. This will be dealt with at a higher level. Let's kind of turn the other cheek and get on with what you're doing kind of energy, right? So let's have a look on what should be Taurus's point of focus for this week. What should Taurus be focused on? We have two cards. We have the Page of Pentacles and we have Death. That's incredible. So we have the Eight of Swords at the bottom of the deck. For you, we're looking at ways in which you can liberate yourself so that you can start again, right? Because we're in this constant process now of, you know, always letting things go and starting again and whatnot. But the Page of Pentacles is about extricating the value from something, right? And for you, because you're in this very reflective state of mind at the moment, and it's possible because, you know, we're in Aries season now. It's the last sign before we get to yours, you know, so being right at the end of the cycle for you is the best place for this reflective energy to come in before Taurus season starts. Extricating the value of the lessons that you have learned in the last year. Perfect use of the energy. And continuing the process of release and liberating yourself from things that have kept you stuck in the past. You know, definitely modes of thinking would fall into this here, but just this stretching your wings out, right? Do feel like Taurus season is going to be very good for you, because you've done so much groundwork. You know, the culmination of the lessons of this year for you have been immense. You are transformed and you continue to do so. You know, you're defying defying the understanding of Taurus as a sign, right, that most people have, which is that you're completely stuck in your ways and you only ever do things one way, the way that you know how to do it, very fixed, very rigid. Like there's been such an evolution of your energy now, you know, that it will continually have the cycle moving in a way that is comfortable for you. I really like that. I really, really like that for you. Tell me what Taurus should avoid this week, please. What should Taurus avoid this week? We have Six of Pentacles in reverse. Do not allow anything that is going on to destabilize you, right? Anything that's going on outside of you. And I feel like this is specifically related to the work environment and whatever's going on there, because Six of Pentacles is all about balance. It's all about, you know, reciprocity and good things, give and take, all that kind of thing. But it's also about your own stability. And I think that if you allow anybody to knock you off, well, why would you, right? You're a bull, not a cow, remember? How about this? Yeah, got exactly the same. Wow, we have three cards that all talk about balance. We've got the Four of Wands here. And this is important because this is the creation of a new foundation for you. You are reimagining what it is to be a Taurus, right? All three cards that have come up for you here talk about balance, the importance of maintaining your own personal balance regardless of what is going on outside. Remember that we've talked about how you carry your stability and your security around with you. You don't need it to be reflected in your environment because you're the solid thing here. You are the linchpin here. And if you allow external stuff to knock you off your pedestal, you're going to have a hell of a time trying to get back up again. So head down and grey rock the shit out of everything, right? If you never come across grey rock, it's a method of dealing with narcissists, right? But I can see it absolutely working very, very well in the work environment when you've got toxic people around. And you basically just make yourself as uninteresting as possible, right? So you don't respond to bait, right? You don't respond to any kind of toxic behaviour. You just act like it's not happening, right? And it makes you very uninteresting to people. That's your best way forwards this week, Taurus. So let's have a look at Gemini. Give me the key to the week for Gemini, please. What's the theme? Oh, 10 of Wands again for you here, Gemini. Right. What are you doing in your day-to-day that is stressing you out? Where are you carrying too many burdens, right? Where have you picked the harder route for yourself, right? Now, I'm not saying that you should not apply yourself and not be diligent in all of your dealings with things, but it does feel to me like you've taken on rather a little bit too much this week. And so in order to stop you from wearing yourself out, in order to stop you from really exhausting yourself by the end of the week, look at ways in which you can make things a little bit more streamlined, right? There's this crow which is perfectly built for flight, right? What it is not built for is carrying 10 wands, right? Maybe put some of them down. Maybe put all of them down. Does it need to be done this week? Does all of it need to be done at all? Does it need to be done by you? Fuck. Let's have a look here. Cards pouring out everywhere. I'm not going to take them, there's far too many. Tell me about this 10 of Wands, please. We've got the Ace of Pentacles. Ace of Pentacles and Four of Wands, right? So there's the 10 of Wands at the bottom of the deck as well. So you're definitely building something, right? You're definitely working towards some sort of new opportunity. Now, it doesn't feel to me like all of your energy is going into that. It feels like you're trying to do this on top of all of the other things that you do, and something's got to give. Gemini. Otherwise, you're going to get really, really stressed out with it, and you're not actually giving everything to this new thing, whatever it is, in the way that you could do. Now, it's beautiful energy, both of these, but it does feel like trying to do it on top of your normal day-to-day stuff is too much. So what can you let go of just for this week? What can you shelve? What can you put to the side? Because I don't think it's this new thing, whatever it is you're constructing here. You know, maybe you don't need to be in the kitchen every night cooking, you know, an amazing 3-course homemade meal. Like maybe just batch bake something on the Sunday, you know, like a big curry or something, and go, right, family, there's your meal for the week. It's in the slow cooker, sort yourselves out, you know, something like that. There's a sense of you having taken on too much, and there's something really rather beautiful that you're trying to bring in here. And it actually requires all of your focus to do it, because you're going to end up being exhausted by the end of the week if you don't cut some stuff out. Right, let's have a look at love and relationships. What do we have here? We have the Tower with the 2 of Cups at the bottom of the deck. So, not to panic. I don't think there's any need to panic. There's a course correction here. So if you are, you know, in a relationship, it could be, well, that there are some unexpected turn of events that kind of change the direction of your relationship a little bit. Tell me about this Tower, please. Let's see what we're dealing with here with the World. Right, so for some of you, there will be a relationship that's coming to an end, and this doesn't need to be a romantic relationship, okay? Let's remember that it can be family, it can be friends, work colleagues, whatever. But it's very sudden, shocking energy, and it does talk about things getting cleared out. And with the World card here, we also have an ending. We have a completion here on some sort of relationship. I notice that we've got the 7 of Wands at the bottom of the deck here, and it could be that this has been coming for a little while. Like the energy of the Tower, I feel often is is when the universe has given you plenty of opportunities to drop something and you don't. And after a while, the Tower goes, right, well, I'm going to do this for you, right? And just, then it's gone. Yeah, we've got the 3 of Swords here as well. There's definitely some difficulty here around relationships, and it's like I said, it's not restricted to romantic relationships. Maybe this is one of the ways in which you've been burdened, Gemini. That's possible. But with the World card here, it does feel like it was due to come to an end, right? In whatever way it does. Because the 3 of Swords actually doesn't feel like the ending. It feels like what causes the ending, you know? So something to be aware of, at least. And, you know, people come, people go. Let the energy in, let the energy out. And maybe it's time to be, you know, separating away from whoever this is. How about that? The High Priestess and the 8 of Swords. Yeah, see, with the High Priestess and the 8 of Swords here, I feel like there probably were red flags that you just didn't see, or you saw them but you chose not to act on them. And now the energy of the Tower is coming in to kind of sweep these away and change the direction, right? Move you 2 apart. And it's happened for a reason, and it's important. So I would go with that energy rather than trying to fight it. You can't fight the Tower, it's not possible. So let's have a look at your material environment. How is money and work and things for Joe? Ooh, okay. Right, so we've got the 4 of Cups and we've got the 8 of Swords in reverse here, and the Hanged Man at the bottom of the deck. So This is interesting because it feels like it's related to the thing that you're trying to build for yourself. And we've got that Ace of Pentacles and the Four of Wands at the top of the reading there. But what we've got here is the Four of Cups, which deals with rejection, right? And we have the Eight of Swords. But the Eight of Swords is in reverse, and I actually really like this for you because this Four of Cups does suggest to me that perhaps the first iteration of what it is that you're trying to do doesn't go as well as you were planning, right? It's not really hit in the way that you wanted it to. And maybe it has been rejected in some way or another. But what is interesting is this Eight of Swords that's come out with it, because this is very restrictive thinking, right? This is kind of getting ourselves trapped in our own mind. This is liberating ourselves from that. And maybe for you, there is an element of needing to separate yourself from your work, like not define yourself by what it is that you do. But I can't help but draw correlations with the fact that this card came up quite strongly for you in the mid-month readings, in the looking for the lesson reading here. And it was all about being rejected, why it was that you feared rejection so very hard. Like, it feels to me that certainly in terms of work, what you've got going on here is a contemplation of this, an understanding of this, right, coming through, which liberates your thinking. Liberates you in a way so that you can show up. And that's the thing, show up to you know, your work, to your business, to your creative endeavors, whatever it is, in a better way. You know, maybe things haven't been quite as, oh, what have we got here? Oh, fucking hell. We've got the Fool at the bottom of the deck, right? I was going to say maybe things haven't been quite as lucrative as you were hoping, right? And here we have the Ten of Pentacles, followed by the Seven of Swords and the Ten of Wands, and then the Mother of Wands here, the Queen of Wands. Now, this card came up for you in the YouTube reading, along with the Four of Cups, right? Here was this unwillingness to be seen because of a fear of rejection, right? Now, the thing is, with this Ten of Wands and this Seven of Swords here, it sort of suggests that you've made it more of a thing in your head than it actually is, right? It all circulates around this fear of rejection. But when you sit with that, when you look at that, when you understand what that is about and why it is there, it seems to me like the scales fall from your eyes. And also the restrictions and the blockages that you're experiencing in your work, in your money and materials and material environment, all that sort of way, are eliminated. Yeah. There is a need to be seen by you, and the sooner that you address the fear that you have of being seen, the sooner you will, like I said, remove all of these blockages and start seeing a significant improvement in your material environment, right? The money that's coming in from it. We've got the Hanged Man and the Fool here, right? The Fool is about taking new steps. It is about trusting that you're on the right path. The Hanged Man is about changing your perspective. And I've just noticed that the sun is underneath that, on being seen, right? There is nothing more visible than the fucking sun, right? And it's asking you to kind of step up and allow yourself to be seen. Deal with this energy now, and you'll remove all of the blockages that are stopping you from getting where you want to go with things. So let's have a look and see what your point of focus should be for this week. This, please. Thank you. We have the Ten of Cups. That's beautiful energy there. It's about collective happiness, right? We've had the Ten of Wands come out twice for you, which is all about burden and really working too hard. Like, take a load off, Gemini. Look at what it is that you have. Look at what you've built for yourself already, right? I think that you're probably being pretty hard on yourself at the moment. And it's about taking a moment to step back and really enjoy the small things, right? Find the sacred within the mundane. That's what you're kind of looking for this week. Let's pull another clarifier for that. Let's see what that has to say. Tell me about the Ten of Cups, please. We have the Emperor. And we have the Magician. Incredible. With the Ace of Cups at the bottom of the deck. Maybe take a load off, right? If you're working really, really hard, maybe this week, just for the 19th to the 25th, maybe just kind of pull back a little bit and sink into the loving embrace of your family and the people that you love around you, you know? If you've got Tower situation coming in with one or more relationships in this week anyway, then kind of scheduling a bit of time away from the stressful things would be very useful for you, because we've got a card that talks about planning and strategy and then manifestation, right? It seems to me like you need a bit of a break and you need to sort of sit back, find the sacred amongst the mundane, and give yourself a bit of time for the creative juices to start flowing a little bit, because you do feel depleted, Gemini, at the moment, right? Maybe there's more important internal work that needs to go on before you start really expressing this externally, right? What should Gemini avoid this week? Ooh, yeah. So what you should avoid is the King of Swords, right? Avoid making too hasty judgments about anything at this point, right? Avoid being too logical and judgmental about things, right? Just take a step back and, like I said, right, appreciate the small things. Sink into the loving embrace of those who are around you. You know, take a minute to enjoy what it is that you already have and you have built. Yeah, we've got the High Priestess here. Like, it's almost like you've been thinking a little so hard about things, and you've been working so hard. What you've done is kind of cut off the lines of communication a little bit. Take a step back, find the silence, find the stillness, because you need to manage your energy a little bit better than you've managed so far, right? Because it's getting depleted. Allow a bit of time for doing nothing, actually, is what this is, because it won't be doing nothing. That's the important thing, right? It's almost a consolidation period for you. Right, okay, that's cool. So, okay, on to Cancer, Sun, Moon or Ascendant for the 19th to the 25th of April. Let's give these a little shuffle. I have the theme for the week for Cancer is, whoa, goodness. Well, that's rather glorious. It's the Fool. So, start of a new cycle for you. And interestingly enough, if we hark back to the monthly read there, for the beginning of April, it did talk about how the cycle was broken, right? You've broken an old cycle and you are starting a new one. This week sees the first steps in really bringing that to bear, I feel. Let's get some clarifiers and see what this is all about here. Thank you. Yeah, we've got the card of Gemini, the Lovers. And we've got the Moon. There you are, Cancer. This is glorious. I really, really like this for you, because we've got potentially some big decisions coming up. Like, you see that with the Lovers card. It talks about sometimes big life-changing decisions, but it's not actually at this point about what it is that you choose. It's the act of stepping up and taking the decision in the first place, right? It's aligning yourself with energy, and it's really you stepping into your own, right? Whenever we see a card representing the sign showing up like this, it's an authentic expression of their energy, and it's confirmation, if anywhere necessary, that what you have done over the last, well, we'll say over the last few months, but genuinely it's accelerated in the last month or two, is redirect yourself. That's how it feels. You redirected yourself to a path that will lead ultimately, if you keep making good decisions, to your own personal fulfillment. I remember reading a study once. It said that they tested the responses of like so many people who were offered a chance to, you know, take a risk and you know, potentially upend their life for the promise of something new. And they tested the responses before this decision was made, and then like half of the people that went for the risk and half of those who kind of stayed where they were because it seemed too risky. And 100% of the people that were surveyed all felt better after they had made this life-changing difference, even if it had resulted in something like a drop in their income level or something like that. It was like whether or not it was purely perspective, they all felt better about being in charge of their lives, right? And taking the risks as they presented. And it feels like that's what's going on for you here this week. Like I said, it's the first stages of the new cycle kind of coming into existence, possibly with some big decisions to be making. But by the same token, just knowing that you are the one to make the decisions is possibly all that it needs, you know? So let's have a look at love and relationships for you, Cancer. What have we got going on here? Oh, we've got a bit of strife. We've got the Emperor and we've got the Nine of Swords. So it's interesting how this feeds into what the theme for the week is for you here, because you know, the Nine of Swords is all about anxiety and you know, that's an alarm. Anxiety, overthinking, all those sorts of things that, you know, do plague Cancers on occasion. And we also have the Emperor. Now, there are a couple of different ways of looking at this. The first being that perhaps you taking control of your life and everything in it, and to that degree also the way in which you show up in relationships, or you allow relationships to affect you, pulls you away from this Nine of Swords. Notice how the Emperor is looking away from this Nine of Swords here. But it feels like an extrication, you know, you kind of pulling yourself away from what might have been, for some of you, potentially controlling situations that you've found yourself in. This could well be part of the new cycle that you're introducing yourself to, is kind of pulling away from those things that have tried to control you in the past. Thank you. Let's have a look. Queen of Swords. Yeah. I think this is about you taking control. You know, we've got the Queen of Swords here, who's absolutely the Queen of Discernment, right? She's about sifting the shit, right? What is true, what is not, what is useful, what is not, right? Bringing that to bear in all of your relationships. And I do feel for you for this week that if there are any relationships that make you feel some kind of way, you know, and I'm talking about the anxiety and the overthinking and stuff like that, step back from those this week. Give those a bit of a wide berth, you know, whether or not it's part of this new big cycle, kind of walking away from it. If it is part of the new big cycle, then obviously you're just turning your back on it, and that's the thing. But if there are any other types of things, right, pull them back. Dial back on them just for this week. Give yourself a bit of mental headspace, yeah, because we've got the five of Wands here. Conflict, competition, you know, kind of adversarial. Like, avoid getting into any of that kind of thing this week. You know, if it requires you to just go and walk away, and then, you know, go and pummel a pillow or something like that, you know, do that. But be very, very careful about being sucked into arguments or any kind of disagreements this week, right? You don't want it. It's not where your energy is lying this week. And the sense of peace and purpose that's coming through for you here is really important. It needs nurturing this week. Let's have a look at your material environment. How are things going here? Ooh, with that. Well, you've got the Hierophant. It's not a bad card at all. Talks about structure, talks about hierarchy. Sometimes it can talk about your place of employment, in which case it feels like it is what it is. It's not really moving. It's not really doing anything this week. I love this Hierophant. Page of Pentacles. But there is the potential for new opportunities showing their face. You know, it's particularly relevant if you are self-employed. It kind of be on the lookout for new possibilities, perhaps new contracts, working with people, you know, perhaps bringing new people in. That's possible. If you are not self-employed, if you are in fact just employed, then there's a possibility for new opportunities coming up. Maybe new training courses, something like that, because we've got this Page of Pentacles, very beginning energy here. And it is with, it's very much focused on you because we've got the Queen of Cups there, which is the Cancer card. If you are offered these opportunities, take them, because there's something good for you waiting at the other end. But other than that, nothing too terrible to worry about, nothing nothing untoward occurring, just pretty much plodding on. Okay, let's have a look. What should be the point of focus for Cancer this week? Ooh, we have the World. Well, that is absolutely glorious. End of a cycle. Concentrate on those ways in which you can tie up all the loose ends this week. I feel like this is a week for possibly kind of pulling back from everything, right? So that you can tidy up your ending, right? The new start is here, it's happening. The new cycle is underway now, but maybe focus on those little details that might be missed if you're in too much of a hurry for the new. So this might be, you know, very boring and mundane practical considerations. Tell me about the World, please. Thank you. Got the Three of Wands, the World, and the Seven of Pentacles. Yeah, there are some loose ends that need tying up here, Cancer. And it's kind of a stitch in time saves nine sort of situation with this. If you leave these, whatever they are, and they do feel kind of practical in nature, it could end up coming and biting you in the arse at some point in the future, right? It's better to tie them up now while you've got the energy to do it, rather than waiting for some point in the future, because it will slow down your progress if it has to be dealt with at a future point, you know. The Three of Wands is very much about the day-to-day, how we deal with the day-to-day. And the day-to-day at the moment, there are some things that are kind of unsatisfactory that need tying up. Like let the ending happen in the way that it wants to, and help it usher in the new by dealing with all of the loose ends that there might be. So what should Cancer avoid this week, please? What is the do not? We have the Lovers in reverse, and we have the Ace of Swords in reverse. So do not let yourself get trapped into a mode of thinking that makes you feel like you don't have choices about things, you know, because you do. You absolutely do. But there are those around you who would try and suck you into the same old fucking arguments that you've always been part of, right? You know, that cycle is broken now. We're not doing that sort of thing anymore. This self-belief for you is really, really important. So don't fall into the trap, and it feels like the trap will be laid for you. And be very discerning about the information that you receive. You know, there's something quite vexatious about some of the energy that is around you at the moment, and not everything that's going to be presenting itself at your door is going to be true. I feel that quite strongly. Yeah. Not only will some of it not be true, but it actually also is just specifically designed to suck you back into that old cycle, right? It's time to release that. It's time to let go of that and start, like I said, walking in a different direction now, making the plans, setting the scene for this full energy to really take root for you. So let's pop these to one side now, put them all back in. And we move to Leo, Sun, Moon or Ascendant for the 19th to the 25th of April. Let's give these a shuffle. It's an absolutely beautiful day outside. I hope it's nice where you are too. I might actually get to experience some of it if I get this done in a timely fashion. So, tell me please about the theme for the week for Leo. What can Leo expect? We have the Knight of Cups. Interesting energy. It talks about leading from the heart, right? And that's super important for a Leo anyway. This is a week where I think logic is a little less important for you, right? I mean, arguably, that's true of Leo all the time, right? Sometimes we lead by the heart and things just work out in a way that is absolutely inexplicable to other people. You see it and they're like, how did you pull that off? You know, it's a real sense of serendipity. But the way that you feel is a good marker for anything for you this week, Leo. Knight of Cups. Yeah. See, I feel like some of you are feeling really quite stuck at the moment, and there's a little bit of self-doubt, there's some conflict about the path that you're trying to follow. I wouldn't say it's necessarily fraught with challenges, but it really isn't quite as plain sailing as you would hope. There are so many little things that need sorting out here, you know, and what you're being asked to exemplify this month, or this week, sorry, is pure trust that everything's just going to work out, right? And it doesn't need logic to have a part in this at all. It does need you to change your perspective on that which you are conflicted about at the moment, right? The conflict even itself is the thing that needs to be eradicated, right? You know you're on a path, you know you're being led somewhere. You may not be able to see where the destination is, but that does not mean that you are not following, you know, I don't know, ley lines or something at this point, right? There's energetic markers here, and it's frustrating. It really is frustrating, the lack of movement this week. However, trust. That's it. That's what I'm going to hit. Just trust that you are on the right path, because you absolutely are. Let's have a look at the love and relationships for Leo. Ooh. So we have the King of Pentacles in reverse that's come out with the World. This is quite interesting, not least because we've got the Death card at the bottom of the deck. We have perhaps a vexatious earth sign around you at the moment. You know, it's a pretty low vibration thing to have any of the kings turn up in their inverted state. You know, like all the kings have their positive and negative attributes, and this could well be an earth sign who is actually has been causing you a lot of issues recently. I've just had the Tower drop out to the side there. If it's not an earth sign, then it can be somebody who is just sort of preoccupied with things of a material nature, right? We're talking about somebody who is all about stuff and things and status and wealth and that sort of stuff, right? But it's come out with the World card here. And the World is an end to this. It's an end to the extent to which it affects you, I think. Tell me about the World card, please. Oh, shit. A Death card appeared there as well. Again, tell me about the World. Thank you. We've got the Magician. And we've got the Page of Wands. I'll get one more because I get those. And Justice. Right, so if there has been a situation that has involved, you know, the person with the characteristics that I've just described, earth sign or no, it looks like it's going to shift this week. You might have had somewhat of an impasse with this character. Just kind of stuck, hitting against a wall, like maybe you've locked horns and neither of you are moving. It seems like this is going to shift because we've got the Magician, we've got the Page of Wands, and we've got Justice. Now, it may not translate into movement forwards, because remember, the energy of this week is quite frustrating for you. There is little movement here. But we have potential arising with the Page of Wands. It's flanked by the Magician and the Justice card. And I think that this Justice card is speaking again to this notion of faith and trust that you have to have, that you are on the right path, right? But with the Magician being here, you have a lot more power in this situation than you thought you did, actually, Leo. And I think that over the course of this week, that will become clear to you, right? There's rumblings along in the background here, and it could well be that you get an insight into what those are, and so it's enough to break the impasse without necessarily it resulting in any movement, but the potential for movement is there going forwards, right? Patience just a little bit longer. So let's have a look at your money and work and material generalness. Got the Ace of Wands. That's wonderful. So we are in Aries season at the moment. If you have had a new idea for, you know, a new creative project or a new way to make money, like this is the week to do something about it. If you are launching a website, if you are launching, you know, maybe a YouTube channel or something like that, right? Any kind of plan that you've got, this would be a good time to launch it. Or you could just find that this is a week where the ideas really start to flow, right? Because it is all about creativity and inspiration. Yeah, I've definitely seen business related stuff here. We've got the Hierophant and the King of Swords. So not only do you have the inspiration and the creativity, right, the juices really start flowing this week, but you have ways to ground this, to kind of bring it into being. We've got the Hierophant, and it talks about structure, right? It talks about kind of building something. But it's small movements here. This is the important thing, Leo. Like I said, you know, the whole theme of everything is kind of like not moving as fast as you really want to, but it's almost like the space that you are being given where the other things in your life are not moving is what allows these creative processes to start occurring, you know. And who knows how these things happen, right? But dots are being connected, inspiration is coming in, and you have gifted to you a little bit of time to be able to put in the groundwork here. We've got the King of Swords, which is interesting because it's not the King of Pentacles. The King of Pentacles in the upright would be more about delayed gratification. It would be about planting the seeds now. This isn't planting seeds, I don't think. This is like creating the space that the seeds will go into. You know, it's quite foundational energy. But the King of Swords is here. Like there's some really smart thinking associated with what it is that you're doing here. You know, if you're not self-employed, if you don't run your own business, then this could be, you know, something that you are bringing to the workplace. Creative thinking around a problem. Yeah, we've got some really big problem-solving energies here. But whatever it is, it's putting your mind to good use. And so this looks very good. It might not, you know, translate into riches and wealth straight away, but it has the capacity to go somewhere, whether it's in terms of recognition. And actually, I'm kind of staring at this purple cloak that the King of Swords is wearing here and realizing that I don't really pay that much attention to it, but it's really standing out now. It could be that your visibility is raised in some sort of way, this acknowledgement of being, you know, really very good at what it is that you do. And that applies right across the board. And sometimes these things are more important in, you know, in terms of your, what's the word I'm looking for? Reputation, right? Than the money and things that go with it. Very sharp thinking, I like it. So, what should Leo focus on this week, please? Ooh, we have the Page of Swords and something that flew down there. I don't know what it is. Try not to set fire to my hair. Oh, Page of Cups and the Page of Swords. Interesting. Right. Page of Swords feels like, well, the way that I interpret this was about expansive thinking. It's about learning new things, right? It's about taking in new information. It's quite creative energy too, because it's kind of like allowing those dots to be connected in your head, like I was saying before. If there is something that you would like to know a little bit more about, this is a good week for taking it in. You know, you're not doing anything else. Nothing else is shifting for you, Leo. So use the energy in the best way that you can. Fill your mind with things. And we've got the Page of Cups here too, which is very gentle, very accepting energy. I think there's an element here of stabilizing your emotions with regard to the big shifts that you are desperately wanting to bring in. I think if they all happened at once, actually, you'd find it really overwhelming, Leo. So they're going to come in slowly. They're going to drip feed in. And you have an opportunity here, right? You have an opportunity to take in all the information that you need for whatever applies. Let's have a look at this. What's the Page of Swords? We've got the Page of Pentacles coming. Oh, and the Ace of Pentacles. This is big energy of creative juices flowing, working out how it is that you're going to bring these seeds to the ground that you are ploughing here. Like Leo, this is a good week for focusing on filling your mind with things that you need to know about stuff that you want moving forwards. I've just noticed that the Page of Swords is again at the bottom of this deck here, right? Pay close attention to lots of things this week and let those creative juices flow. Let your mind kind of run it all around. One of the reasons why it's important to kind of accept the fact that you are static right now is because once you accept it, you stop trying to change it, right? You're not fighting against those universal forces that are making you sit still at the moment. And you're freeing up your mind to do something else. And the something else is apparently quite important because you're laying the ground, right? So what should Leo avoid this week? We've got the Nine of Wands, and the Nine of Cups, beg your pardon, and the Knight of Wands. Avoid trying to chase your dreams just yet, right? The overwhelming feeling that I'm getting from this reading here is that you need to be slow at this point. It's like paying attention to everything, being very observant, doing all the groundwork. You know, the Knight of Wands is the opposite of doing groundwork. It's very spontaneous and sometimes a little bit reckless. But it's here with the Nine of Cups, and so it would be a good idea for you not to... I heard two separate things there, and that's really quite interesting. So there's something front and center for you that you're really focusing on at the moment, and it's really what it is that you want. But with the Knight of Wands being here, it's like, don't rush into it. Don't rush into anything this week, even if it looks like it might be exactly what it is that you want. The other way of looking at this is do not rush into this. Hang on, let me get this right. It's gone. What was it? Don't settle. Thank you. Don't settle for anything this week. You know, if things come your way and they kind of look a little bit like what you thought you wanted, but you're in a state of kind of rushing and being hurried about it because you're trying to bring this new thing towards you, whatever it is, that is a mistake for you at the moment. No movement is a good idea for you this week. There's a surrender to the energy, and the energy for you is static. What I got here, yeah, because on reflection you're actually going to tie yourself into something that you don't want if you go chasing things, right? If you settle for something that's less than what you want, you're going to be tied to it for a while. If you chase something and it presents in the way that you think that you want, just give yourself till the end of the week to make a decision about it. Don't be rash, don't rush into it, because somewhere along the line you are going to regret it, Leo. You will absolutely regret it. We've got that two of wands there. Like that urge to move for the sake of moving is something that you need to avoid this week, right? Just for this week. I know I'm a Leo, I fucking hate it. I'm trying to do movie things myself. I'm trying to shake up everything, and I am being kept very resolutely in the same spot, and I fucking hate it, but it is what it is, right? I might try and take my own fucking advice, which would be nice. Right, let's move on to Virgo. Let's see what's going on for Virgo. Give these a good shuffle. So, could I have the theme for the week for Virgo, please? Ooh, There we go. We've got the Six of Swords. I like that for you, Virgo, because of the shifts and the changes that have been occurring for you in the last month or two. Yeah, this was maybe about 2 months, right? There's a definite sense of movement where there was a feeling of being very trapped before. Now, yeah, we've got the Four of Swords. Ooh. And the Four of Cups in reverse coming up here, and I like that very much for you, because the Six of Swords, like I said, is about that movement, and the Four of Swords is about peace. It's about recuperation. It's about restoration. It is about recovering from what has been a very difficult situation. The important thing to remember is don't expect too much of yourself all in one go, right? This is a slow, steady process, and if you want to make, you know, the biggest moves forward will come from you taking little steps at this point, right? The preservation of your peace needs to be front and center all of the time. You know, we've got the Four of Cups in reverse here, and I think it's talking to the shift in your mental processes that's going on, which is away from, you know, that feeling of abandonment and isolation that you've been feeling for such a long time, and a return to a feeling of gratitude for what it is that you have. That's really lovely energy for the week there. Let's have a look at this. So, tell me about love and relationships, please, for Virgo. Ooh, that one came out fast. We've got the Page of Pentacles in reverse. I don't think that there's anything new starting for you this week, and you know, for some of you, I'm sure you'll be very glad about that. The focus still needs to be on you, and you, like I said, it's a slow process. You're in a state of recovery, and you're learning to look after yourself again after a very long period of not doing. That's Page of Pentacles, please. King of Pentacles. Yeah, there is an urge to look after lots of other people, but I don't see anybody new coming in, you know, whether romantically or otherwise. So your mind is very much on looking after yourself, and also looking after those that you love too, you know, those people that are already there. You feel such a sense of responsibility towards them, and I almost feel like that's part of that has come from the fact that you've been so shell-shocked and isolated for such a long time. You know, you're kind of coming back to it and being all like, oh, who, you know, people who need me. Yeah, that's beautiful. We've got the Wheel of Fortune here with the Ten of Cups. Now, this feels very much like you looking after that collective that already exists around you. Like I said, nothing new going on this week. The Wheel of Fortune is kind of an interesting curveball thrown into the middle of it. It does seem like there might be some sort of really nice surprise in your intimate relationships, and I don't just mean, you know, romantic or sexual relationships. I'm talking about just generally speaking, something, a surprise that comes out of well, apparently out of nowhere. Let's have a look at this. Tell me about this Wheel of Fortune, please. Whoop. Got the Two of Wands there. Decisions that need to be made. Unexpected decisions. And it feels like people are coming to you with this. It feels like somebody's coming to you, somebody in your close circle is coming to you with something that they are worried about. And it feels very much to me like you are able to give them a sense of perspective that they couldn't see themselves. You know? You're rocking all of that wisdom now, Virgo. But what I like about this is how involved it makes you feel in this dynamic, you know, in this collective dynamic of people that you have around you who are so caring. You know, there's something really beautiful about the energy there. Right, tell me about material environment, please. Oop. We have the King of Pentacles. Yeah, no, we're going to stick with that. That's fine. So, King of Pentacles again. Money and materials look pretty good. I mean, there's no doubting that when you've got the King of Pentacles around. He's a king of delayed gratification, but he's a king of like running everything well, you know. What about this? We've got the Queen of Cups. That's King of Pentacles here. Five of Pentacles in reverse. If you have had any concerns about money this week, 19th to the 25th of April, sorry, we're going to see those alleviated because the Five of Pentacles has come out in the reverse here with the King of Pentacles, right? Good money management, good everything to do with work and business being sorted very well, right? Bringing your earth sign energy to bear with this and really taking care of business. We'll see any concerns that you have with regard to your financial or material existence being kind of stabilized, right? They may not be fixed immediately, but certainly the pressure is off. That's how it feels. So, let's have a look at what should be Virgo's point of focus. Ooh, we've got two cards tumble out one after the other. We have Judgment and we have the the Queen of Pentacles here. I like this for you. Queen of Pentacles is Capricorn energy, but it talks about nurturing yourself. It talks about taking care of yourself, and that should be a priority for you this week, Virgo. I'm hoping that you're making yourself a priority every week now, but you know, we'll see how it goes. With the Judgment card here, let's have a look at this Judgment card. Thank you. Yeah, there's a shift of focus really happening here from the past to the future, you know, and it's, oh, just notice Judgment's at the bottom of there. I see actually shifting your focus from the past to the potential for the future, right? All the good things in your future. Like I said, there was an increased sense of gratitude for those things that you've got. I mean, I spoke about, I was in Gemini's reading about seeing the sacred in the mundane, and I think that there's something in that for you, Virgo. You have a real appreciation of the importance of every moment, and that's not a gift that's offered to everyone. But there's a real sense of a conscious choice to look after yourself, which I like very much for you. And definitely should be the point of focus for you this week. What should Virgo not do this week? Oh, we've got two again. We've got the Three of Wands and the Star. That's very interesting energy. Oh, Three of Wands and the Star. Ace of Wands. There it is. Right, I wouldn't plan too much to do anything too new this week, Virgo. Yeah, well, we've actually got an avoidance of too much action, right? Because it feels like there's a running before you can walk kind of element going on here. Right, we've got the Ace of Wands and the King of Wands here. I think if you start anything too new, and with the Star, you know, we're looking at the future here. Right, both of these cards are actually really similar. They've both got stars there, kind of gazing up. But the Three of Wands is about the here and now. The Star is about the future. The Ace of Wands and the King of Wands are about here and now. Like, don't run before you can walk. If you push yourself a little bit too hard, then you're not going to be able to, it's not sustainable for you at this point. Like, this week is all about rest and recovery for you, and making sure that you're putting your energy in the right place, because it isn't yet up to full capacity, right? And so you still need to be gentle with yourself. Don't push yourself too hard. Yeah, take a break. It's okay. It's all good. But yeah, no new projects. It's just consolidation of what you have going on already. I think that's the way forward. So we move to a Libra. Needs a shuffle. Theme for the week for Libra, please. Thank you. We have the moon in reverse. So we have things coming to light that have been previously hidden from you, Libra. Now, I don't know whether these are things about you or, you know, within you, kind of, you know, revelations that you have about yourself, or whether this is something external to you. Hopefully these two clarified cards that I'm going to pull. Thank you. Two of Wands. Eight of Pentacles. And the Eight of Wands. Right. It feels like this is going to be an interesting week. There's something coming to light that is going to require you to make a decision about something. It might be to do with work, because we've got these two eights here. We've got incoming communication and we've got the Eight of Pentacles. But it seems like the choice here for you is to stay where you are, or it's to move off in a different direction. So it's kind of destabilizing, but it feels more like a shake-up than anything else for you, Libra. It might be that your time is done where you are, you know, in whatever sense that applies, whether that's work or in a relationship or whatever. But there's definitely something coming to light that is kind of going to push you to at least the understanding that you need to make a decision about this, rather than necessarily having to make the decision right there and then, if that makes sense. So let's have a look at love and relationships for Libra, please. Thank you. We have the Six of Swords. So this is a week where we are looking at moving away from certain things. Now, it's just Six of Swords at the bottom of the deck there. It's definitely a card of movement, and it's a card of moving away from what has been difficult circumstances, because obviously it follows on from the Five of Swords. It feels like cutting something loose this week, Libra. What do we have here? Yeah, see, there you are in the Justice card, and we also have the Nine of Pentacles, which is about, you know, the good resource management, but it is about being solo, it is about being independent. If you are in do you know what, it doesn't matter if you're in a relationship or you're not in a relationship. This is a relationship, romantic or otherwise, and it's the one that's showing up here, so it's the one that's important. Or this one is more important than anything else, because there's pulling away from this seems, well, it doesn't just seem like it's the right thing for you. With the Justice card being here, it is right for you, but there's also a question of why you haven't done this before now, you know. With the Nine of Pentacles, this is somebody who is solo, independent, and looking after themselves, right? There's no one else depicted on this card. It is all just about you, and it's a kind of pulling away from a situation that, for some reason, is now done with. And it could be that there was some unjust behaviour from somebody else towards you, and it's taken you a while to notice that. But it really does feel like, no, I remember saying once, I'd rather be by myself for the rest of my life than ever be in a bad relationship again, right? Or not be in the right relationship. Whether or not it's a romantic relationship, you don't want friends around you who make you feel anything less than awesome. You don't want people in your life who do that at all, and there's definite pulling away going on here, and it is you pulling away from someone else, not the other way around. But it's the right thing to do, right? That the time is up on that one. Let's have a look at your material environment. We have the Six of Pentacles. So it's a card of balance. It's a card of maybe getting on top of things that have been unbalanced, because remember that this follows on from the Five of Pentacles, which is a card that deals with, you know, poverty and a lack of anything. So we've got a stabilization going on. If you've been concerned about money, then that will alleviate somewhat. Tell me about this Six of Pentacles. Six of Pentacles, please. Oh, thank you. Yeah, we have the Sun. And we have the Magician. So actually it doesn't just alleviate a bit, it alleviates a lot. If you've been, you know, waiting to hear about something, about a pay rise or, you know, a promotion or maybe a new job, something like that, it feels like this is kind of coming in, it's righting the balance here, because there's very much a sense of intent here with the Magician. It feels like you are the one who has brought this stabilization to bear. But with the Sun, I mean, this just radiates positivity. It is the most positive influence in the deck. You know, it feels like you've possibly had quite a bit of concern over your material environment for a little while. Well, this week should see that starting to lift for you, and not just lifting a bit, but actually feeling like the sun's finally come out on you, you know, leaving the rain behind. Winds died down, now there's just beautiful sunshine. And it's that, it's being able to relax about it. That's how it feels, Libra. So let's have a look and see what you should be focusing your energy on this week. Whoa, that was a lot of things. What have we got here? We've got the Eight of Cups, the Queen of Wands, and the Magician. That is really quite interesting because we've got you moving away from things, right, as we see here, not just physically but also emotionally, right? Don't take that baggage with you. Very much concentrate on not taking that baggage with you. But we also have, you know, the Queen of Confidence, I almost said there, the Queen of Wands, which is confidence and high self-esteem, with the Magician. Now, notice the way that these crows are positioned there. Both of them are sitting astride a wand. Very, very interesting imagery. You are so much more powerful than you think you are. You are so much more adept than you think you are. You have all of the tools that you need, but what you lack at the moment is confidence to make it happen, right? So with the Queen of Wands, have the confidence to walk away from the things that are not for you, and have the confidence to actually dream for the things that are for you, you know? Use your will to manifest what it is that you want. We've got the Knight of Pentacles here. Ooh, with the Page of Pentacles, fantastic. So, you know, although I do not run to the Pentacles indicating money, I see it as energetic currency. There is potential here. It does seem like you're very focused on money and material things at the moment, which is fine, because honestly, it seems like it's been quite difficult for you for a while. Focusing on the Pentacle is good for you here. It might actually help you with the moving away from the things that, well, from the relationships that are difficult at the moment too, right? Maybe it's relationships, maybe it's a set of people, maybe it's a situation. Just kind of like get your head down and concentrate on growing more of these pentacles. Don't become complacent just because the stress has lifted. Now, this is actually a really good time for you to capitalize on the gains that you've made. Libra should not do. We have the Seven of Pentacles. So the Seven of Pentacles is that feeling that something isn't quite right now. It's I quite like this card because it's sitting in a very current energy of kind of examining your life and working out whether you need to invest more in something or kind of divest. What it's quite static though. And here's the thing, like it's kind of sitting there and going, well, everything's a bit shit really. You know where to focus your energy. You don't have to pick apart and get judgmental about every aspect of your life at the moment. Like I said, it seems like the Pentacles are the place that you need to focus your attention at the moment. There we go. We've got the King of Swords and the Ace of Swords here. There, right. Don't get judgmental over everything. Don't start hacking away at everything with a sword. It's like, walk away from what you need to, and that will be immediately obvious as to what that is. Just leave that behind because it's definitely, you know, relationship based, and focus on capitalizing on this situation that you have brought about, because I think that there are emotional consequences for you here too. Like it's a sense of empowerment that you get from being able to not only correct what has been a difficult situation, but also then make further gains on top, you know. Just don't get chop happy, you know? Right, okay. Let's pop these all to the side and move on to Scorpio. Is that right? It is Scorpio, yeah. So, let me give these a shuffle. So, can I have a theme for the week for Scorpio, please? Thank you. We have the 5 of Cups. Okay, well, that is your card, actually, Scorpio. Oh, it talks about focusing on what is lost rather than paying attention to what remains. You know, we've got this crow here who's staring at the 3 cups that are on the ground. And what is contained in the cups is spilling everywhere. Right? What is not noticed is that we've got this 2 of Cups behind him that's still very full of all sorts of cool things. Yeah. So, feeling kind of tethered by a feeling of having lost something. Right? Oh, shit. Here it is. There. It's quite an unstable energy, because all the 5s are unstable. And it's clarified by the Page of Pentacles and the Devil, and they actually came out in that order there. And it's almost like a new start being arrested, right? It's just like, no, stop, because of something here. Like both the 5 of Cups and the Devil energy talk about feeling very, very trapped by a feeling. Like with that 5 of Cups, it's kind of like all encompassing. And the Devil is, you know, literally being snared by the neck by something that you feel tethered to and cannot escape from. Now, this Page of Pentacles is sitting in the middle and kind of separating this energy up. And it's interesting because actually the Page of Pentacles for me is all about kind of extracting the value from something, kind of holding up and seeing the value for what it is. Yeah, I've got the 8 of Wands. It's interesting. 5 of Pentacles, Knight of Cups. Yeah, it feels like a sort of to-y fro-y week for you, Scorpio. Kind of wheeling between feeling trapped and then wanting something new, you know, like feeling stuck and then wanting to move. It feels like you're kind of zigzagging around on this one a little bit. But that's not a bad thing, because the more you kind of to and fro in this energy, like it feels like the deeper that you get into it each time. So what it is that's making you feel stuck versus why it is that you want to start again in some sort of, you know, different aspect. We've got this Knight of Cups, which is about leading from the heart. It's about trusting. It's about giving. But it's preceded by the 5 of Pentacles, you know, it's just like, But I do get this sense of you kind of going deeper into it each time. The more you go into it, the more you can understand it. And the less likely it is for you to become stuck there. You know, often the people that get really, really stuck are the ones that aren't prepared to sit with themselves and examine their motivations. And I do feel like that is something that you'll be doing this week, Scorpio. So let's have a look at love and relationships for you, please. There we go. Ooh, Wheel of Fortune. So we've got, you know, possibly a teaching moment, but we've certainly got things taking an interesting turn. Shall we put it that way? Tell me about the Wheel of Fortune. Thank you. We have the Magician and we have the Sun. How insane is that? It's the same 2 cards that we just had for Virgo. They're Libra, sorry. The Magician and the Sun, Gemini and Leo energy respectively. It could be a surprise meeting between, you know, somebody, between you and one of these characters. Or it could just be that actually in your toing and froing, in your sifting of the information, you're like, I'm ready to start manifesting for myself a new version of my reality, right? And it's one where I put my happiness first. It feels like you're going to have somebody come in, if not somebody's come in. Almost like like a gift from the universe to help you on your way. There's the Wheel of Fortune again in the upright. Certainly a week of surprises when it comes to new people. We've got a Queen of Wands here. That's Aries energy, but it's female fire sign energy, not necessarily female fire sign, right? Very, very fiery, obviously, but confident, you know, high self-esteem, carries themselves well, you know, quite a sexual energy actually, which is, you know, something that I'm sure Scorpio will enjoy. It's it feels like somebody quite captivating, right? It could well be here a fire sign. But the important thing is that you've actually pulled this person towards you. With the Magician being here, I actually feel like the Magician is more you than anything else, right? The Sun a little less so, and the Queen of Wands not you either. The Magician feels like you. You have manifested this for yourself. Whether you're going to know what to do with it, you know, this relationship, whatever it is. It doesn't have to be a romantic relationship. This is the thing. It could just be a really good friend suddenly appearing who just, you know, gets you, or is just fun to be around. We see a lot of fun implied here by the Sun card. But you've called it in, Scorpio. This relationship of whatever sort. So enjoy it, yeah? The sun's out. Have a little bit of fun. Let's have a look at your material environment. Oh, what do we have here? We have the Six of Wands. That's a lovely card. So whatever endeavors you are engaged with this week, it looks like success is going to be your watchword, you know, whether it's at work, it's getting recognition and praise for, you know, what it is that you've done. And Scorpio's always got this really actually quite discreet work ethic, whereas Taurus, it's all like front and center and it's everything that they're about, you know. The Scorpios have an equally strong work ethic, but they don't define themselves in quite the same way by it as Taurus do. But I certainly see you, you know, getting some recognition, getting some praise for what it is that you're doing. Whether or not this then leads to, you know, a material advancement, as in a pay rise or something like that, possibly not at this point, but certainly it's laying a new foundation. We've got the Four of Wands and the Judgment card here. It's laying a new foundation for something new coming up. Like, you're going to be shown to have a really sound business judgment, really good instincts in this area. It's a really good week for you in that regard. So what should be Scorpio's point of focus this week? No, that's too many. Like, I mean, 7 cards there. Like, you're good, Scorpio, but you're not that good. You can't focus on 7 things at once. I'll tell you about Scorpio should concentrate on. We have, that's 2. We've got the Chariot and we've got the 2 of Cups. Now, that's really quite interesting because we do have this person coming in here. Like I said, I don't actually see this as always a relationship, you know, a romantic relationship card. I see it as 2 people coming together with shared goals, visions, alignments. It's somebody who's just really good fun to be around. For you this week, and the thing to focus on is just what makes you feel good, what makes you feel happy. You know, we've got because this is fun. I mean, look at all the yellow on this card, right? It's really bright, fun cards coming on here. Like, it actually seems like a really good balance of you know, play and work. We've got in the UK, things are just starting to open up, so people can actually go and meet in pub gardens and all that sort of thing. But like, social interaction is starting to occur again, and actually, you know, really concentrate on that this week. Because I think you've missed it. I should know that you've missed it. You know, I think you should go out of your way to have as much fun as possible with as many people as possible as you possibly can. Yeah, we've got the Wheel of Fortunes just turned up here again. Like, specifically with regard to interacting with other people. Social stuff is really important for you this week. We've got the Strength card at the bottom of the deck. That's the other card of Leo, interestingly enough. Definitely put all of that Scorpio attention on important relationships that are around you at the moment. So what should Scorpio avoid? Oh, well, yes, quite. We've got the devil. All right. Second time this has shown up here in your reading. Do try and avoid getting stuck in patterns of thinking, right? Or even being stuck in the house, right? What is this? Got the Empress in reverse. Yeah, there's a feeling of hopelessness here, and obviously everybody should be avoiding that. That's not something that you want moving forwards. Actually, you've got the Five of Cups again, right? Try and avoid as much as you can getting too stuck in an energy of what you have lost. Now, I don't know what it is that you might have lost here that has you kind of thinking about this anyway, but like those are the same two fucking cards, right? We had the Five of Cups from the Crow Tarot, and then the Devil from the Rider-Waite, and we've got the opposite way around coming out again here. If you possibly can, pull yourself out of this energy and just go and have some fun, because actually there's little to be gained, despite what I said there before. Like that, there's little to be gained by focusing on what you have lost and the ways in which you feel trapped and or less than. I don't know where that came from, but that was for someone, right? Just get out there and be, just exist, just be, and be around people this week, Scorpio. I know that you don't always like people, but it's not people for the sake of it. There are some cool characters that are going to be surfacing for you, and you're going to want to spend time with them and have a bit of fun. Just blow out the cobwebs, Scorpio. That's how it feels to me. So we move on to Sagittarius. So I have the theme of the week for Sagittarius, please. Oh, we have the Fool. Amazing. Now, the Fool is the start of... Oh, look, there you are at the bottom of the deck as well. Bless you, Saggy. The Fool talks about the start of a new cycle and all that kind of thing, right? We know that. It is, the pure potential that sits right at the beginning of the major arcana. But what I heard when it dropped there was trust. Like, just trust. This is a week where you are expected to just trust, not necessarily people, but your path, right? But the energy is taking you in the right way, because you feel very much like, just like this crow, you're kind of bobbing along on a log at the moment, and it feels like you don't have a direction. But, Saggy, I think you're going to be surprised, because the tide has kind of caught you a little bit. And it is taking you somewhere. And it's not like you can't question it, but there would be no point in questioning it at this point, because you're not going to get the answer. Right? It's not going to be made clear to you yet. Wow, we've got the Fool here. I think that this is you being brought to a sense of completion of a previous cycle, right? It's one that's been kind of swirling around you for a little while, but it feels like this week, 19th to the 25th of April, what you've got going on are finally the concrete signs that the old cycle is ending, right? It's properly happening, and that can have its expression in a number of ways. We could be talking about, a divorce getting finalized or something like that. You don't know where you're going yet, but you know where you have been, and you know that time is really starting to close out now. We've got the Queen of Swords, and she's quite discerning. She is discerning. She's the card of discernment for me. It's having your wits about you. But it's quite interesting that there's sort of a warning here as well, not to get too much up in your head about the endings and the beginnings. It's kind of like, just let them happen. They're just kind of bobbing around. You are kind of bobbing around, and then the undertow is taking you in a direction. You don't need to worry about steering your ship or anything like that. Just trust that you're going in the right direction. Don't overthink it. So let's have a look at love and relationships for Sagittarius this week. Oh, well, That's a nice card. We've got the Six of Wands, so card of Leo in the minor arcana there. It's a really, really good card. It's a card of visibility, you know. Seems like if you're under any illusions about, you know, the way that you are cared for by people, this week sees that put to bed. There's quite a star quality here in terms of how you are seen by people. You know, Sagittarians are quite oblivious often to the effect that they have on the collective. Like I've said before, I think there's a really, really strong healing quality about Sagittarians, and they do like a sense of harmony. They tend to carry it with them. They tend to bring it with them. Well, obviously, there are Sagittarians for whom that is not true, and the kind of low vibe ones who, you know, absolutely embody all the negative attributes of the Knight of Wands would be those. But for more evolved and enlightened Sagittarians, there is this kind of healing AOE that they carry around with themselves, and it just kind of heals people up without even trying, you know. And the message here, it's clarified by the Hangman. There's literally nothing that you need to do this week in terms of love and relationships, except just bask in the glow of what this is for you, you know. Thank you. Ooh, got the Page of Pentacles. And this is interesting because I actually think it was Ace of Cups there. And this doesn't feel like it refers to a new relationship coming in. It's actually more to do with a sense of self-worth that comes from actually accepting that people, you know, really, really like you, that you are an important person in people's lives. And whether this is in, you know, a romantic relationship, or whether this is, you know, amongst your friend group or whatever, you know, it's just accept it. I don't know why Saggies have such an issue accepting that they're awesome. I don't know why any sign has an issue accepting that they're awesome, but you know, it's particularly relevant for you. You've kind of got a predisposition towards sometimes a sense of needing to perform just a little bit to keep people interested and keep people around, and the cards this week are just saying you don't really need to do that, you know, but pay attention. If you've got people around you that you think are really, really awesome and they are spending time with you, like the natural corollary of that is that there is in some way at least something about you that is also equally awesome, right? And fighting against that and refusing to accept it is just nonsense, so don't do it. Let's have a look at your money and work and material stuff. We've got the Ten of Pentacles, Saggy. That is excellent. So business going well, work going well, whatever it is, you know, Ten of Pentacles is good money this week, you know. What about this? Got the Page of Wands and the Six of Pentacles here. It could be the ideas that you have had, you know, that you put into play a little while ago are really starting to pay off dividends now. Indeed, if you own a business or you work for a company that has been closed over the last few months with the lockdowns and stuff like that, opening it up, starting to get that money flowing again. You know, you've been careful, and that was good, that was necessary, but there's a hint, there's a sniff of things really starting to improve really quite dramatically for you. We've got the Page of Wands, so it's not quite happening yet, but it is in the pipeline. You can see it happening, you know. Nothing to worry too much about at all this week. So what should Sagittarius focus on, please? We have the King of Pentacles and we have the Tower. Interesting. So we've got this King of Pentacles with the Ten of Pentacles. That's a really beautiful combination of cards that's coming up for you there, Saggy. That really is. It's talking about really taking care of your money, right? You've been cautious. You've really looked after you and yours by good resource management all of this time. But I wonder with this Tower here, if it's time to shift the way that you have been doing something, right? It's kind of like moving with the energy here, not allowing yourself to get too static. Now, that's not something that Sagittarians take to kindly to anyway, you know, being static. But I wonder if there are ways in which you have become maybe a little complacent. We've got the Ace of Swords here. And the Fool again. Yeah, I think it's time to fucking Wheel of Fortune again, right? And the Knight of Wands at the bottom of the deck. Your presentation in your readings has been really, really strong, Sagittarius, for quite a while. I think it's time to start focusing on how you can shake things up a little bit, right? Bring some of that Sagittarian creativity to the table, because we've got new beginnings starting for you here with the Fool. We've got endings coming in with the, and they're coming in holistically, with this whole completion and end of a cycle here with the World. But we've got more new beginnings here. It's just like concentrate on what it is that you want to bring in for you. And I think some of it's going to involve kind of upsetting the apple cart in some ways. Like I said, you might not have got complacent, but you kind of got used to doing things a certain way for the last wee while, and it's time to start throwing the chips up in the air a little bit. You know, there's a slight aura of chaos around you. Healing chaos, but chaos nonetheless. Like, your energy needs to move. It always needs to move, and you've been kind of still for a while now. It's time to start thinking about new ways in which you can move. And this well might be a week where you see yourself having new ideas, where you will end up kind of throwing by the wayside that which has worked for you hitherto, just because the energy has now shifted, the energy has moved, and you are sensitive to that and responsive to that. But I love the fact that we've got these endings and beginnings all over for you here, right? And no concern about it. That's what I like. Right? It's just rolling with the energy. So what should Sagittarius not do this week? Ooh. So we have the Six of Cups. And the Emperor, and they're both in the reverse, which is really, really interesting. I don't think that you should be attempting to control anything too much, right? Let your chaos reign a little bit. Like, you've got that kind of sparky thinking about things where you kind of leap around a little bit. My daughter and my partner are both Sagittarians, and sometimes trying to, you know, follow a conversation with them when they get very excited about things and they're leaping around is quite hard. But that's just how your energy rolls, and that's where the seat of your creativity is. Like, if you try and control things too much and get too rigid, this is going to be a bit of a mistake for you. Like, it's kind of hemming yourself in a little. And the Six of Cups is my card of the past. And it's like, for all I'm always telling Sagittarians that every now and again it's a good idea to look round and have a, you know, have a little peek at the past, have a bit of a reflect. It seems to me that this week you don't want to be thinking about that at all. It's resolutely forwards for you. And certainly don't try and control anything that is associated with your past in any way. Like, this is a week for letting the energy flow. Cool, I like that for you, Saggy. Right, let's have a look and see for Capricorn. There you are, right, bottom of the deck. So, these are shuffled again. I have the theme for the week for Capricorn, please. Thank you. We have the Ten of Pentacles. So money is on your mind, and not just money, it's stability, it's structure, it's security. These are always very important to Capricorns anyway. I almost said Sagittarians then. But it seems like it's particularly relevant this week. This could be your home, this could be your business, but definitely those parameters within which you operate and you feel safe. Tell me about this Ten of Pentacles. Well, yeah, fine. Hell, Capricorn, what are you doing? Ten of Pentacles is clarified by the Ten of Pentacles and the Six of Cups, right? So there are a couple of different ways that we could see this. I just noticed that we've got the Four of Wands on the bottom of the deck here. Now the Ten of Pentacles can indicate home, so can the Four of Wands for me. That is possible. If you've got children, maybe you are concerned about the security of your children, right? The stability of your children, the environment under which that they are growing up. Maybe that is something that you are paying attention to this week. If it is not that, then what we're talking about is security and stability in any sense that it applies for you. And the past. It feels like a break from the past. You know, the Ten of Pentacles is the pinnacle of the pips, right? It is completion. We're talking about an end. It's supposed to be, you know, complete material fulfillment. From there you go back to the Ace of Pentacles, and you're always kind of building on that here. But hang on, let me get one more card for this. I really, yeah. We've got the Ace of Wands. It's time to start again, Capricorn, is actually how it feels. It feels like this is a week where you realise that you've kind of topped out where you are, right? And you are secure and you are stable, but there's a need for a reinvigoration. There's a need to move on. You're trapped in, not trapped even, you're just at the end of a cycle here that encompasses a point at which you were not this successful. Right, that feels like it's why the Six of Cups is here. With this Ace of Wands, it's like bringing some new ideas to the table, a bit of new creativity, a bit of new inspiration, at least. And maybe it might just be creative ways of thinking about how it is that you secure your stability and your security for yourself. You know, either way. It looks like a week that is filled with the things that Capricorn likes, which is, you know, planning and structure and pentacles, really. So let's have a look at love and relationships. Whoa, we have got the Seven of Wands, and quite interestingly, it came up in a sideways fashion, neither upright nor reversed, but like that. So that way around, it talks about being very defensive. It's a defensive, guarded energy. And in a relationship, any kind of relationship, whether it's romantic or otherwise, that's not really a good energy to be bringing to the table. In the reverse, it would be dropping that. But it's come out in the sideways position. And so it seems to me, Capricorn, it's kind of up to you which way that goes this week. Like, you can choose to be defensive about things, or you can choose not to be defensive about things and actually listen to who is talking to you about something. Like, the corollary of this is that there is a situation coming in for you that would make you feel in some way defensive, right? The way that you choose to deal with it dictates the success of how that goes for you. Yeah, because we've got here the Nine of Wands and we've got the Knight of Pentacles. So you can either take from this something valuable, or you and work on that and build on that, and that is after all what you are, or you can revert to this defensive behavior, you know, where you kind of sit right the way back and go, no, you can't attack me for this, that and the other because of these reasons, you know. And it actually feels like going on the attack. Like, you don't need to go on the attack this week, Capricorn. It would actually see you much better if you didn't fight and you listened. Right? Let me pull one more card for that. Whoa, fuck. Got the Queen of Cups and the Queen of Swords, and that's a beautiful demonstration of exactly what it is that I'm talking about here, right? Notice that these queens have got their backs to each other, right? It's kind of pick an attitude this week. You can either be caring and nurturing and sensitive and open to receive, you know, whatever information is coming your way, or you can be harsh about it and you can go on the attack. I would suggest to you that this is a week where you would really benefit from listening, right? Drop any need to defend yourself and just listen. Because the person that's coming to you with this, I do feel cares very strongly about you. But you're running the risk of pushing this person away if you don't take their concerns seriously, right? I want to just leave it there. Tell me about money and material environment, please. Whoa, fuck. Yeah, see, we have the Five of Pentacles and the Chariot here. And that would explain why the theme of the week is the Ten of Pentacles for you, right? Because we've got the possibility of, or the fear of the possibility of some sort of poverty going on here, right? Maybe it's, you know, you haven't got quite enough in your savings account as you thought you would. Maybe something shift, some sort of move that you were planning on taking might actually see you taking a pay cut, or, you know, needing to spend more on some travel, potentially, you know, commuting to work. That one spun a number of times before it came out. Yeah, we've got the Ten of Swords here. And the Five of Pentacles again. Right. It explains why it is that you are so concerned, right? It could be something like the possibility of redundancy or a job loss or something like that, because we have got the Five of Pentacles twice and we've got the Ten of Swords. We've got something coming to an end and an isolation pushing out, being, you know, indicated in some sort of way there. However, what we do have to mitigate it is the Chariot and the Ace of Pentacles. Like, Cappy, no matter what the issue is that you are having, there is no way that you are ever going to be without. You will not allow yourself to be without. You're too determined for that. You know, you're a resourceful and capable creature. And although it seems like it could get dark at points here, it feels like it actually really just brings that Ace of Wands energy right in towards you. I mean, shit, I mean, possibly you might be deciding to start your own business. We could see that happening here. It's like necessity is the mother of invention. Now, for you, a crisis is where you get most creative in your thinking, you know, and it's an incredible gift that you have to be so resourceful. You know, that's an Earth sign thing, I guess, but to be so resourceful in the face of what looks like it could be, or at least have the possibility of being something that would threaten your security. Now, we've got the Five of Pentacles twice, or we have the Ten of Pentacles twice here, right? The fact that the Ten of Pentacles is the theme here for you tells me that there is absolutely no way that you're going to let a Five of Pentacles situation stand here, right? And I do feel you getting very creative very, very quickly about how you deal with this. So, and that, with all of that said, I could see why you maybe don't have the mental headspace for somebody coming to you with an issue that they have, right? I can see that would be why you would choose to get really defensive about it, because you're just like, I don't want to fucking think about this. I've got this other thing that I do, you know, really requires my attention. However, we go back to the fact that it is quite important that you give this person the time of day and you let them say their bit, right? So let's have a look at what should be the point of focus. Thank you for Capricorn this week. Yeah, we've got the Two of Wands. You've got some decisions to make and you need to think very carefully about them. What about this Two of Wands, please? Thank you. Yeah, I mean, I was waiting for that to come out, and there it is. It's the Tower, the Two of Wands. Yeah, Tower and the Magician. Like I said, it is in these points of crisis that you get your most resourceful, you know, you're most driven. We've got the Two of Wands, we've got these decisions that need to be made, and we've got this Tower energy coming in some way or another, right? Really hitting you quite hard, but it's immediately mitigated by the Magician. You have everything that you need. You've got all of the tools, all of the resources to manifest for yourself the way out of this situation. And I don't even feel like there's a possibility of you getting bogged down with not solving this. It's too fucking important to you, Capricorn. So you're just going to get on with it, right? Don't doubt yourself. You're incredibly capable. I just want to point out that at the bottom of the deck is the Magician again, right? You're doubly capable. And that was the Devil card that just flipped out sideways there. So what should Capricorn not do this week, 19th? No. Yeah, get stuck in the past. We've got the Six of Cups here, right? Whatever it is, yeah, like fucking Five of Swords and the Three of Swords. Whatever the sort of situation is here, Capricorn, it's a course correction. It's adjusting you and it's putting you where it is that you need to go. But if you get stuck in the past, if you also get a little bit verbally, well, you start verbally sparring with someone, like, this is a week for you to stay calm and cool and controlled, right? These are things that you do very, very well. Even if you're absolutely freaking out inside, you do a good job of appearing not to be on the surface. The thing is, it needs to be not a show, because there's something else going on here with another person, you know, and they need you. And they can be very supportive towards you and help you with this anyway, but you have to give them the space to do it, right? Don't get stuck in the past. Don't submit to feelings of lack of worth, because I do feel those coming through quite strongly, right? That's ridiculous. Not with all this magician energy around you and the absolute knowledge that I know how creative you are in a crisis. You know, definitely, there are a number of signs that I would want to be around if shit was going south, and I'd quite like a Capricorn in there somewhere. I like a Taurus in there too. You know, maybe it's a Scorpio. That kind of thing. You know, it's that kind of really, really practical but original thinking. It's going to see you very well. Don't get stuck in some sort of mental loop whereby you're not good enough for X, Y, and Z, you know, because that just dilutes your power. And to be honest, it's just a fucking distraction. It's a way of not dealing with the issue at hand, and you don't want to do that. So, got this weird long thing going on here. So, let's move on to Aquarius. Can I please have theme for the week for Aquarius, please? Oh, there it is. Oh, no, that's too many. I'm not taking all of those. That's ridiculous. Theme for the week for Aquarius, please. Again, we've got the Chariot. And we've got the Eight of Pentacles. So we have work. We have working at something quite hard, right? We've got drive and determination implied by the Chariot. We also have movement. We have the Eight of Pentacles, which is talking about, you know, drive. It's talking about really working away at something until you achieve mastery. Right? There's a lot of dedication in the pairing of those two cards there. Hanged Man. That's interesting. And the Hermit in reverse, and the Empress. That's interesting. Feels like you're coming out of a period of reflection and contemplation, interestingly, and coming out with the answers to something, whatever it is that you've been dwelling on. And it could be a work-related thing, or it could be something else. You know, at this point, it doesn't really matter. It's a theme for the week. So, where you have been stuck, where you have been kind of thinking very hard about things but maybe not actually doing something very much, that sees a shift this week, because it is clarified by this Empress energy too, and that fits beautifully with the Chariot and with this Eight of Pentacles. The Hanged Man and the Hermit have kind of done their thing, and this week it's time to start taking action on X, Y, and Z, whatever it is that you're putting your energy into at the moment. So let's have a look at love and relationships. Whoa. We have the Page of Pentacles. So we have the possibility of a new start in something, but it's always about looking for value. That's how I see this card. Yeah, we've got the Ten of Wands in reverse. We're looking for new ways to do things, right? And this could be new ways of relating to work colleagues, new ways of dealing with family members, you know, maybe even your partner. And that Page of Pentacles. Thank you. Yeah, we've got the Five of Cups energy here, which deals with, you know, issues of loss and lack, you know, abandonment, something like that. See, a lot of things changing here for you. Like, there's a kind of determination to do things differently, to do relationships differently, of any description. It doesn't really matter how they're showing up here at all. I think that you're done with being stuck, Aquarius. Any kind of aspect of your life that feels stuck and feels like it isn't giving you what you need, like it feels like you're just kind of shifting away from that now. Like there's a definite course of a definite sense of direction in away from anything that is burdensome and anything that makes you feel less than, you know. It's 5 of Cups. That's 5 of Cups. Thank you. Got the Ace of Cups and the Page of Wands, and the Chariot just flipped there too, right? There's a definite change in direction for you going on now. It's like you're stepping away from those 3 cups that are on the floor. You've noticed that there are 2 still there. You're generating your own sense of you know, of self-worth and it's like generating emotion from you know, your core, yourself, and getting ready to move in a different direction. And that might involve leaving some people behind. It might involve changing the way that you deal with certain people. But changes in the air with that one too. So if you had any people around you and you found yourself getting quite frustrated with the way that your interactions occur, that looks like it's shifting this week. So tell me about material environment, please. What's going on with money and things? Right, we have the Tower and the King of Pentacles and the 10 of Cups. So got the 10 of Pentacles at the bottom of the deck here, and I really like this for you. I think that the Tower is some sort of disruption going on for sure, but it looks like it's working out quite well. We've got the King of Pentacles, so that's Taurus energy, and it's almost like the best laid plans. You know, life sort of comes along and interrupts them. And as I'm looking at this, like this King of Pentacles looks really startled by the Tower next to it, right? It seems like there's a bit of a surprise coming in. And the Tower isn't always an uncomfortable surprise. It isn't always a terrible thing. It's a course correction, like I've said before. But we've got the 10 of Cups directly after it. This is wonderful. This sees this disruption, whatever it is, taking you in a direction that is better than that which you had planned. Right? Oh. And the message is doubly so, right? We've got the 10 of Cups twice there. Whatever the Tower is for you this week, let it fall. Don't fight it, because there's something really, really wonderful on the other side of it, and it is better than what you had planned initially. Definitely. With the 10 of Cups twice, 10 of Pentacles twice. Was that not on the bottom? Yeah, I don't know. Right. It's just better. And I think once the initial shock wears off, I think that you will see immediately how it is better than what it was that you had planned. Right? Everything just sort of works out. All the pieces fall into place. It's good. I like it. So what should Aquarius focus on this week, please? Thank you. We've got the 5 of Pentacles. Focus on any ways in which it is that you are not using your energy properly, right? I'm saying this, we've got the 9 of Pentacles and the Ace of Pentacles at the bottom of the deck here. And both talk about, you know, good resource management, energetic or otherwise. And also, you know, the creation of new opportunities. Well, we've got a Tower there and we've got new opportunities showing up here. Make sure that you are not throwing energy at things that don't require your attention this week. Tell me about this 5 of Pentacles. You also need to concentrate on making sure that your own basic needs are met, whatever they are, and be ready to make big decisions about things, and possibly, you know, big decisions on the fly, because these feels like it's coming in pretty suddenly for you. Yeah, we've got the Ace of Swords. We've got you kind of needing to be quite sparky. And there you are, look at the bottom of the deck as well. Making really good, clean judgment about things, but being ready to make those very, very fast. In fact, the faster the better, to be honest. Right, let's have a look on what should Aquarius not do. Thank you. We have the 3 of Cups. That's interesting. Why are you here? What's the 3 of Cups here? Ooh. 6 of Swords. Oh, right, okay, gotcha, right. What you are not to do this month, this week even. I've got the death card at the bottom of the deck, right? Let things end. I was talking about these relationship things, like where you haven't done things in the right way, like own it, change it, all that sort of thing. If this requires you pulling away from people, then let that happen, because there's all sorts of shifts and changes that are coming in for you, Aquarius. I really can't begin to tell you, but we've got the Three of Cups and the Six of Swords in reverse there, right? This is old emotional support networks, and I say old advisedly because what this is talking about is going back to, right? Do not be tempted to go back to what it is that you know just because it is familiar, because that way trouble lies for you. It's all about the new for you this week, right? And whatever is new, whatever happens for you this week that is new, embrace it with both arms, you know, because it's meant for you. And it's what all of this disruption that you've been experiencing and will experience is about. It's kind of shaking everything up and bringing all those new things in, you know. So let's move finally to Pisces. A theme for the week for Pisces, please. We have the Ace of Cups. That's absolutely beautiful. It sees you in a state of acceptance of new things coming in, right? It's a card of pure potential, the Ace of Cups. It speaks about forgiveness, it speaks about compassion, it speaks about a readiness to receive, and that is what I'm feeling for you here. That specifically, a readiness to receive anything and anything that comes your way. It's been doing a lot of groundwork of late, yeah. There's absolutely no fear of going without here. You've been doing a lot of groundwork of late, getting ready to shift, right? We've seen that quite strongly, you know, shift and move away from the old, breaking out of a cycle perhaps, but extricating yourself from situations where you were giving a lot and others were receiving a lot and you were getting next to nothing back, you know? Not that you would ever have asked for anything back, but there does seem to be like this energy of getting ready to do things your way. Like I said, I've never felt, there you are, look at the bottom of the deck, there was never any feeling of bitterness or resentment about the fact that you gave so much. You just did it, and now it's time to not do it anymore. And it's almost like you have the same level of feeling about that as you did about, you know, the other. We've got here Death and the Magician. Wonderful, wonderful cards. No fear about what the future holds at all, you know. If there were any considerations about going without, I see those being kind of knocked on the head. It speaks specifically to you kind of meeting your own needs rather than the needs of the collective too. We also have Death and the Magician, right? We have a clearing out of old energy and this manifesting energy of the Magician coming in for you, which aligns beautifully with the Ace of Cups, right? That readiness to receive. It's like you're acting like a lightning rod, you know? I feel almost a level of actually kind of like Queen of Swords like approach to the way that you are letting stuff end, like letting the clearing out begin. That is almost surprising for a Pisces, you know. It's just quite matter of fact. I don't know why it's surprising, it just feels like it might be surprising. And a readiness with this Magician to act as a lightning rod for whatever is coming in towards you, right? We have love and relationships, please. We have the Queen of Cups. Oh, that's nice. Like that. That's Cancer energy. It's, again, incredibly receptive. It's water of water. Queens are water. Cups are water. Really strong emotional connections. Yeah. Of almost a pulling away from really strong emotional connections, actually. Not in an emotional sense, but perhaps in a physical sense. It's like, I can love you, but I can love you from the other side of the world. Like, I don't need to be sat right next to you all of the time. You know, whether this is a friend or a family member or you know, whatever, it doesn't really matter. But I see you kind of pulling back from people. We've got this Four of Swords here, but we also have the Strength card. There's that Leo card that always comes up for you. You know, there's a, I wish I could work out what that association is. I still can't work it out. Without fail, every Pisces reading, there's the Leo. You know, it might just actually, with the Strength card, really refer to that inner steel, that inner core of strength that I detect with Pisces. It's very, very strong, and for some reason a lot of people don't. They don't see it. Yeah, but a willingness to detach and a comfort in detaching, knowing that this doesn't in any way kind of compromise how it is that you feel about people. That's extraordinary. I love it. Let's have a look at your material environment. Ooh. We have the Seven of Pentacles in reverse. This is really good. I like this because the Seven of Pentacles in the upright talks about something being wrong, right? It's kind of like having invested something, right? Planted a seed, and the bush that you got in return is just not going to yield the kind of return that you expected of it. And so do you pull it out, or do you water it more? Do you put more, you know, expensive nutrients into it? It's come up in the reverse for you, and that's what I like, because it means that you've looked at your situation, you have made a very, very clear assessment, or you will make a very clear assessment of what is wrong, and then you will fucking do something about it. You know, it's a sense of direction, where this often speaks about not having a direction. Thank you. Star. Yeah, I see you planning for the future here. Like, I don't see any great big moves here with your material stuff. I mean, it's possible that you're looking for a new house. If some of you are looking to move, then this augurs pretty well, because we've got this going on here. This Ace of Cups, Four of Wands and Star combination. Yeah, if it is that you've settled on you need to relocate, then that's something that's going to be front and center, but it looks like it will probably be quite successful moving forwards. For the rest of you, in every other respect, just realizing how much I'm having to shout, it pisses me off. Not a lot of movement, nothing bad, nothing good. No, nothing good's not right. Plenty of good, lots of nice things, but not pentacle heavy. You know, it feels more like establishing things, you know. We've got the Ace of Cups, which is that potential. It's the openness for receipt. You know, we see that again here. Oh. And the Four of Wands, which is all about the home, and it's about celebration. With the Star, hopes and planning for the future. Not necessarily seeing the reward of it at this point, but putting those plans into action. So, what should Pisces focus on this week, please? Oh goodness, I'm not taking all of those. Behave. Let's try that one again. Pisces should focus on this week. Death. Let things end. Let things transform. You know, it's about liberating yourself this week. If there is anything that you're feeling trapped in, just let it go, let it fly. You know, we've had the Death and the Magician come out for you already. Seems like death is going to be the dominant energy for you in this week. It is about liberation, it is about transformation, and just letting it all happen. And I actually have no fear at all about the fact that you'll do exactly that. Yeah, there you are, Hanged Man. About this, and the Ace of Pentacles. Yeah, it's a real clear understanding that in order for the new, and you are in pursuit of the new, you're going to have to let the old go, right? Let the death energy do its work and clear old things out for you. Tell me about the what Pisces should not be focusing on this week. What should Pisces avoid, please? Oh, I don't know what that was. Okay, it's the Eight of Pentacles. Don't get too bogged down in the detail of things. this week, Pisces. This is actually a week for you to kind of drift a little bit, right? Like you like to do, but it doesn't actually require that much focus from you. If you get bogged down in details, it's just going to leave you feeling a little bit heavy. Yeah, I mean, we've got 5 of Cups here and 3 of Swords. If you allow yourself to dwell on the details a little bit, you're going to be thinking a little too hard about, well, it actually feels like your brain might start catastrophizing and you might start second guessing stuff, and you might be taking on a little bit too much of other people's thoughts about what it is that you're planning to do. This is a week to just let the details take care of themselves, right? Let that death energy do its work, and you just kind of just be, Pisces. Whew, right, that was epic. I'm going to go now because I really need a wee. I love you all very, very much. Hopefully, if this, you know, if people like this, then this is something that I will do every week, but give me some feedback, you know. I love you all very much. I'll see you soon.